All right, welcome back to Impossible Versus Matches, the podcast where we take pop culture characters from all over fiction and improvise a way that makes them fight. If you don't know our usual routine by now, you got other episodes to watch, but join with me is my good friend Kyle. Kyle, say hello.
Hello. How'd it go?
And as you all know, we've got a list of 50 characters. We're both in randomizers. Kyle's got a list, I've got a list. He's going to randomize, I'm going to randomize, and the two characters are going to cross over somehow. And once again, you all know this is more of the journey rather than the destination, so it's why are they fighting and not who would win, because some of these are way too obvious. M. Bison would completely destroy Uncle Buck. It is not even a fair fight.
It's whoever's in your heart that wins.
Yes. And you know what? The true matchup was the friends we made along the way.
Just like the One Piece.
That is the One Piece. So, Kyle, you are the guest. You've been on an episode already. You get the option. Would you like to throw your hat into the ring first, or would you like me to go first?
I'll go first this time.
All right.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Then I will go ahead and spin my wheel, and let's see who you end up with. Ooh. Edging it out, we've got Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead.
All right.
So for those of you who don't know, Beavis and Butthead are two absolute losers.
That's putting it lightly.
Slackers. They're big fans of their rock music, their heavy metal music.
Mm-hmm. They don't work, I don't think.
They have a fast food job, or they have had one before.
Okay.
They are, despite both looking like they're 40, they are high school students. And they're obsessed with scoring chicks.
Yeah.
And maybe burning things, but they're both just slackers, and they usually just sit on their couch watching music videos and talking about them.
They definitely seem like stoners, even though I think back in that time no one could show smoking on TV. But it definitely seemed like stoners.
They definitely come across as that, but I don't know if that's ever actually been a thing. But,
anything ever official.
They are countrywide travelers going by Beavis and Butthead Do America, the movie, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
But yeah, we've got a duo.
All right. Well, I will go ahead and spin my wheel.
Yeah,
and see who's got the pleasure.
Who has the pleasure of dealing with Beavis and Butthead?
So, it'll be Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de la Rosa Ramirez. And if you're not familiar, if you guys have ever seen The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, he was like the bellboy.
Oh, boy.
For the show.
This is surprisingly the second time we've used Sweet Life on this show.
I'm not all surprised.
We've had Mr. Mosby before.
There's not much to say about the character, especially if you've talked about Sweet Life or watched it. He's just the bellboy. He is Latino. He's usually pretty goofy and lets the two kids get away with a lot because he's closer to their age and kind of fun. And usually he gets the butt end of what happens around the hotel.
Why do you have such a long name? Yeah.
I thought it would be fun.
What a mouthful.
So
what she said.
Your Beavis and Butthead is pretty good.
Thank you. I try.
So I think the pretty obvious is, let's say on their Doing America tour, they stop in. It was New York City, right? Where that hotel was. It seemed very implied New York City.
Seems very New York, but I don't know if they ever actually specified.
Sure. But let's say they end up staying at the Tipton, which is the fake hotel. And they are staying there totally by credit card scam because there's no way they could ever afford a place just like that.
Usual Beavis and Butthead shenanigans.
Yeah, exactly. They tumble their way in and...
They fail upwards.
They fail upwards, exactly. And they end up at a room, and it's quickly revealed that this isn't the proper clientele for this type of hotel.
Yeah, Mr. Mosby's going to be pissed.
Yeah, so Esteban has been tasked with removing the two boys. As discreetly and quietly as possible, so not to upset the other guest.
Of course.
So, of course, he's going to get to the room, and the whole hallway can hear just some AC/DC song or something.
Yeah.
You can hear them screaming and yeah.
Rock on.
it was a
hotel rules.
Butthead might have become the Great Cornholio, but probably not yet.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he's probably standing out the room, very nervous. You know, this is probably actually even the flashbacks because these two young boys running amok around the hotel. He knows how much destruction that can cause from Zack and Cody.
Mm-hmm.
So the confrontation will just be them ignoring him for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Until they finally get annoyed enough to answer the door. To where, before he can get a couple words out, oh, are you here for room service? And then they try to order the whole menu before he stops them and says, no, I'm here to ask you to leave. To which, slam.
Yeah. We're not leaving. The hotel is sweet.
It's great. It's awesome. Even free TP.
Solid reference.
Thanks. Low-hanging fruit, you know. But it was there.
This is already perfect, though. I mean, they're already two troublemakers. They're in the Tipton.
And maybe even he would call upon Zack and Cody as
maybe.
help. How do you deal with them?
Can we say that Zack and Cody are like 40 at this point?
Yeah, they're like 40. Esteban's like 55 now. But Zack and Cody are like 40, and they're like, dude, we have jobs. We don't care.
But they still live in the hotel.
They still live in the hotel.
Together.
Yeah. With their mom.
Yes. Who's almost dead.
Who
One foot in the grave in this scenario.
Yeah.
But Beavis and Butthead are the same age they were in the 90s.
Yeah, they never aged.
we take stretches with this show because it's funnier.
So, let's say Esteban has just got a line of like microwavable burritos from outside the door.
Okay.
All the way down to the lobby and out the door. And the boys eventually catch wind of it.
Yeah.
And then so they start following. Oh, it's so fucking sweet.
Oh, sweet. Found some burritos.
Just stuff in their pockets with them for later. Yeah.
Because they'd be after that.
Yeah. And they followed out. And then
Tuesday.
He tries to like kick him out the door.
Yeah.
And that's when it'll get confrontational. And Butthead will assume his persona of the Great Cornholio. Beavis is the one that's... Okay. And then Butthead just is like, if you want to tumble, we'll tumble. Also, Napoleon Dynamite just trying to be Butthead in the movie, I realize. Is it?
Nah.
Just the way he talks, I don't know.
I don't know. I think he's nerdier.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe in the voice.
But that's more of just a loser.
Yeah, I'm just a loser, for sure. To which, I mean, you know.
I'm trying to kick us out of the hotel booth.
We'll sue you.
Yeah, I'll get a lawyer.
Yeah, it'll be an awesome lawyer. Take you everything you got.
Take you to the penal system.
Let's see if we can get that girl walking behind the desk, too.
Yeah. Nice one.
Sweet. Whole time they're like ripping farts.
Yeah. It's just an episode of Zack and Cody.
Yeah, it's just an episode of Zack and Cody.
Oh, man. That was perfect. As soon as I knew it was as soon as I saw that name pop up of Zack and Cody here, I'm like, these two troublemakers are going to this hotel.
Yeah.
Mr. Mosby's going to be pissed.
Yep. And maybe it's resolved when Mr. Mosby eats them. If you've not heard,
what?
Apparently he was in like Europe accused of cannibalism.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I read about this on a Twitter thread, so, take it lightly, but it was a thing where he had like an accusation of cannibalism against him, like Europe or something.
Like the actor?
Yeah, the actor.
What?
Yeah. And then, obviously he's not getting extradited for just an accusation, but...
Oh, okay.
A lot of people now are like, oh, did he eat someone? So...
Huh.
Yeah. You learn something new every day.
Now we know what those burritos are made out of.
We know what happened to those boys.
I like that you made it a trail of microwavable burritos.
Yeah, I mean...
It was like, oh, sweet burrito.
And that's probably, like, high class for them still.
Must be Taco Tuesday. Oh, man. That's really good. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead in the Tipton.
That would be,
Trying to score with the receptionist.
that Ethan chick over there. And I think she's totally loaded.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course they would.
Yeah.
I'd like a expensive room key, please.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps you could come up sometime.
Do they offer oriental massages? Yeah, I want a happy ending.
Fortune cookie. Perfect. We wrote a Beavis and Butthead episode and a Zack and Cody episode in the same session.
Something that should have never been, but it's beautiful.
And yet, it be. And no one has thought of this, I'm sure.
Yeah, completely original. OC, do not steal.
Please share this to r/who would win.
Yes.
So,
I used to go on that subreddit a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be a big any anime or stuff. I'd be like, I can get on that.
Yeah, I wanted to plug this show on there, but I don't want to be like a self promoter.
A lot of times they'll do some subreddits will do hey, promote stuff here every once in a while, or they'll have free talk threads where you can.
Because I don't want people to think that I'm just using it as a platform to advertise, but I've been thinking that this is definitely the place to. Mm-hmm. That's definitely the place to put this show. Yeah, and just be like, hey, now tell me who would actually win.
It'd work well in there's I'm trying to remember the name of the subreddit, but it's pretty much story writing ideas, where people will just give out a short synopsis to be like, hey, this would make a fun. I think it's called writing prompt, and that kind of works in the same thing where just the two ideas of meeting could create a fun story if someone was a really elaborate, good writer like that.
Let's get that M. Bison and Uncle Buck fanfiction.
Fanfiction, yeah.
All right, well. You ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah, let's get the next one.
That was a good start. That was a solid start to this episode. Going to give our list a little bit of a shuffle. Yep. And go ahead, spin your wheel. Okay. Who you got for me?
So for you, my good friend, I'm going to have... Oh, man, just winners all day. Johnny Quest from the Cartoon Network show.
Johnny Quest. Oh, okay. Yes. Johnny Quest is a character that I know.
Yes.
And I'm very familiar with his parody in the Venture Brothers, May They Rest in Peace, because if you didn't hear, they got canceled for real.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a few days ago, they actually canceled the Venture Brothers, and I haven't watched new episodes in a while. I was just thinking of catching up because... there's 6 years between Venture Brothers seasons, so I'm in no rush.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
But apparently it ended on a super big cliffhanger, too. Oh, shit. So they pulled a Metalocalypse on him.
Damn.
But...
That sucks.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Actually, wait a minute. I can't do that. I got the Banana Splits, but they're both products of Hanna-Barbera.
I wasn't going to say anything, but it was actually supposed to be Johnny Test.
Oh, geez.
So if that makes it easier for you.
I don't want to talk about Johnny Test. I was on the Young Kings podcast and we talked about how much Johnny Quest sucks for 15 minutes.
You mean Johnny Test?
Johnny Test. Yeah. Johnny Quest is great.
Oh, Johnny Test is fine. Leave him alone.
No, fuck Johnny Test. Fuck him.
It's fine.
Fuck that fart noise and whip crack.
Oh, that's not it.
I'm moving, Kyle.
I like the sisters. They're redheaded and have glasses.
Kyle, no.
Well, this was me 12 years ago, okay?
Okay, fine.
It's more appropriate than...
It was Kyle's awakening. It was the sisters from Johnny Test.
I had a lot more awakenings than that. That was an awakening.
Well, okay, so Johnny Quest and the Banana Splits are both products of Hanna-Barbera. Okay. So going by my own rules, I will re-roll. Okay. Unless you want to re-roll.
No, if you want to take it. If you feel comfortable with Johnny Quest.
I do like Johnny Quest. Yeah, I like him. I also like the Banana Splits, but you know what? They recently had a movie, which was a horror movie.
I've heard about that.
Maybe I'll say...
Wasn't it not good?
It's the worst kind of good.
Okay.
It's the best kind of worst. You know what? We're going with another team up. I've got the Three Stooges. Oh. Which have been sitting on this list for a while.
This one's kind of a tough one.
This is a tough one, but I know I can make it work. The Three Stooges have been in Scooby-Doo.
Okay. Sure.
And all of Hanna-Barbera's characters have crossed over at one point through the absolute wormhole of Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. Thus meaning that the Three Stooges, Harvey Birdman, Johnny Quest, and Scooby-Doo are all in the same universe.
Beautiful-minded, you know?
And I'm really hoping that they build up to this in movies with this new Scoob movie, which I did not see. I heard it was absolute trash. But
I heard it was... Oh, people said it was fine, but nothing great.
Yes.
Which is almost worse sometimes.
I hope that it all just builds up to an R-rated Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law feature-length movie.
You think they'll bring it back?
No.
No. But how'd they get away with that, I wonder?
Cartoon Network owned Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, fair enough.
So they were able to do whatever they wanted because they were like a subsidiary.
Yeah, and they did just let Adult Swim almost do whatever they wanted.
Yep. It was because C-Lab 2021 I think was C-Lab 2020 or something. Like it was a Hanna-Barbera show, and then they made it like adult.
Yeah.
It was like a reboot, I
guess.
Did
they? I always wondered because I never watched the original. Did they even like remake it, or did they just dub over the original?
They probably do. I mean, what they used to do with like, because they did Space Ghost, Coast to Coast as well, which was in a previous episode that we just did. It was Space Ghost versus Powerline.
Oh.
And well, that was fun. But no, what they would do in those Adult Swim shows was they would take the animation, the same animation, they just redraw it so it was HD, and just use the same stuff for whatever they wanted. So
okay.
And by HD I mean new, because it was still like early 2000s, late 90s. So they did that with like
with technology.
Yeah, so they did that with like the Brack show. They just took like their favorite frames from the Space Ghost TV show and just redrew Brack and was just like, we'll use these. So they just redid the animation pretty much, but it was the same stuff.
Right.
So I think that's what they did with C-Lab and Space Ghost and Brack show. And Harvey Birdman was different because the Harvey Birdman was all like animated right as it was. But anyway, we've got Johnny Quest and the Three Stooges. Now, how familiar are you with the Three Stooges, Kyle?
A little more so than Johnny Quest.
Oh, okay. Well, we should do a briefing for our audience.
Yes.
So, Three Stooges are probably Johnny Quest, boy adventurer.
Yeah.
His dad's a scientist, and he travels with him, and they go on all kinds of crazy adventures. They have, I don't know why I am. Race Bannon is like his bodyguard. So if you've seen the Venture Brothers, he's the Brock Sampson.
He's the Brock Sampson, right?
And Brock Sampson is like, Race Bannon turned up to like 20.
Yeah, to the extreme.
Yeah, to the absolute like most extreme that he can be. He also has a Haji or Hajib or something.
Like his
he's the
friend.
Indian kid who may or the Hindu kid who may or may not be able to fly in today's climate.
Yeah.
I
made that joke.
And I don't mean on a plane. I mean fly as in people would probably not think he's very PC. But I feel like I remember him being like a positive character. So I think he's kind of a 50-50.
Yeah, I think he was just like a good friend of the...
I think no one remembered that he existed yet. So that's why we haven't had a cancel Haji campaign. And that's why... but that's why Apu is gone from The Simpsons. But
yes.
Anyways, so he's just a boy adventurer. His dad's a super scientist. So
world-renowned type.
Yeah, so they're always like traveling places, and it's usually like they'll go someplace and it'll be like a mystery of the week type thing, or like here's the villain they're fighting this time. But lots of science, lots of adventures, lots of high stakes. Yeah, they're usually in like life or death situations. Pretty much everything ends up okay.
As always, as those kind of things did.
Yeah, but there's always something going on. Three Stooges, on the other hand, are three just bumbling idiots.
Are they brothers? They're just friends.
I don't think it's ever addressed in the actual source material. In real life, two of them are actually related, and one of them is not.
Gotcha.
And then if you watch that movie where they tried to like reboot them with different actors.
Yeah, I remember that coming out, and I never watched it because I said, "Who wants that?"
I watched it.
Okay.
Because of course I did.
Yeah, naturally.
And honestly, it was fucking funny.
Yeah?
I thought it was great.
Okay.
Not like, it's not high-class cinema, obviously,
right.
But they do such justice to the original characters. Like, they're good at doing the slapstick, and they're good at doing the humor and the voices, because obviously all of them are dead now.
Yeah.
And pretty much James from Cinemassacre has said that pretty much that movie is exactly what it would be like if they were still alive and in their prime today. Like, they would make that movie.
Yeah, that's
like
okay.
So it's like, there's some stuff that's like lowbrow in there, but it still has like really good
Keeps
comedy. And it dates itself because Mo ends up on Jersey Shore. There, so it's like they have the Jersey Shore characters, and then Mo goes in and he's like a dick to them.
Okay, they're all jacked.
Yeah, and I thought it was a decently funny movie if you're a fan of those characters. If you do not care for the Three Stooges,
now officially sponsored by the Three Stooges movie, official sponsorship.
Yep, we're sponsored by a movie from almost 10 years ago. From a while ago that did not do very well at all.
That Joe's the only person ever that saw.
I'm pretty sure I was the only person in the theater. I know that.
That's a fun experience.
That was actually I went on a date for that movie with someone else that said they enjoyed it, and I was like, huh, girls don't like Three Stooges.
Yeah.
But
being the only person in the theater is fun. It's happened to me twice.
Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting experience.
Mm-hmm. It happened to me for The Ring when I was young.
Ooh.
And then it happened to me for the Prince of Persia movie.
Ooh. It happened to me for that movie, Hereditary.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Very terrifying, honestly. Yeah. The last Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Okay.
And most recently, Bill and Ted 3 Face the Music.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, it's a limited release.
Oh, true.
The closest one is, an hour away.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Bill and Ted Face the Music, please go see it.
Yeah,
Support
you said
them.
it was good.
It was a fun time.
Yeah.
But Three Stooges, slapstick, there's a bunch of incarnations of them, because the real life story of the Three Stooges is actually wrought with tragedy, which you wouldn't expect, because they're funny people.
Yeah.
And nothing ever bad happens to comedians.
Yeah, exactly. Their lives are always great.
Yes, their lives are always fantastic, but you've got Mo, who's the one with the bowl cut. You got Larry, who's the one with, like, the crazy hair, who's, like, kind of Larry's a bitch. And then you have Curly, which is everyone's favorite, because he's the fat, lovable one.
The big goofball.
Yeah, he's the big goofball. He's the dumbest one. They also have Shemp, and no one cares about Shemp, even though he was there first. He has, like, a weird, like, part in the middle type hair.
He was always the kind of mean one, right?
He was just kind of meh.
Yeah.
Anyone who says that Shemp is their favorite Stooge character,
they're trying to be that guy.
They're a liar.
Yeah. They're trying to be, like, OG. Yeah.
So, like, the real life story is, like, the three of them are brothers, and then Shemp went on to go and, like, do some actual acting. They brought in Curly. Everyone loved Curly. Then Curly died, so they brought Shemp back for a little bit, and then I think Shemp died, and then they brought in, like, it was weird because they brought in, like, 3 other fat guys that were all, like, different versions of Curly, because they all still had Curly as their name, but they were all different guys, and then, like, all of them died, and then Larry died, and then Mo died. And it's a sad story if you read into it, but basically I'm trying to figure out which version I'm using. And I think I'm going to go with OG, the Shemp one.
Okay.
Because what's going to happen is, well, it's just Johnny Quest meets the Stooges, really.
Yeah,
Johnny Quest goes to, like, a mansion, and of course, who's been hired to paint the mansion?
But the
Three Stooges. And crazy super science stuff happens. Shemp dies.
Okay.
Shemp just dies.
He just dies.
So he gets replaced in the scenario.
Someone walks in carrying
by Curly, and they're like, "Whoa, what's going on here, you crazy kid?" And it's something like the mansion is haunted,
right,
or like there's a super villain in the mansion. There's lots of super science, like supernatural type stuff.
We didn't get paid to be babysitters.
Yeah, exactly. And Johnny is like, "Come on, guys.
Yeah,
we'll get out of this." Where are the rest of Team Quest? I don't know.
I bet they got separated a lot in this show.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's probably par for the course.
For sure.
Johnny is separated from
very classic, like a Scooby-Doo splitting up thing. But so it's Johnny Quest, and he's met the Three Stooges, and he's like, "I need the Three Stooges' help to get out of this trap. Let's say they're trapped in the mansion now.
Okay.
That's where it is. We're jumping all over the place in this one.
It's been magically sealed by ghost stuff.
Yeah, they're trapped somewhere, and Johnny's like, oh, we gotta get out of this mansion, and, they agree. But the thing is that Johnny ends up just getting pissed off.
Because they're just goofing around.
Well, because they're not goofing around, they're just all equally incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mo is, he's usually the smart one, in quotation marks, because he's just a dick. That's his whole, purpose, is Mo's a dick. And then Larry won't stick up for anything, and then Curly's stupid. So they're all just being really stupid and doing the slapstick thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny's like, it's old! I can't do it anymore! So
this is outdated even for me, and I'm from the 40s.
I am 60 years old at this point. But no, so basically, the Stooges are doing slapstick to each other, and then Johnny's like, I've had it with this, so he starts, joining in the slapstick, but then, basically they're just having a cartoon fight, where it's very well choreographed, where they're slaps and the eye pokes and the
you get a scene where
hitting on the head.
Johnny to Curly's like, could you hold me up for a minute? Oh, sure. Smack.
Yeah, that's exactly Stooge material. Give me a boost. Thank you.
It was in my head.
That's perfect. That's so yeah, basically they just start brawling, and that's really it. Johnny just gets annoyed by the Stooge antics, and but then he gets more annoyed. So this is a little tiff. Let's beef this out a little bit because I'm not satisfied. Ray Spannon shows up, and he just opens the door.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you guys could have just came out of here this whole time. Silly Johnny. You could have just come out here this whole time.
They're stupid, infected me.
Yeah, and then he's like, and this dude is like, yeah, kid, you idiot. Yeah. What? I'm trying to think of some old-timey insult for stupid, but...
Oh. Donkey brain.
Yeah, what do you think of that, donkey brain? And then he slaps Johnny Quest, but now Ray Spannon's here to see it, and he's the bodyguard, so he starts fighting with the Stooges.
Which is clearly a wash.
Yeah, which, actually, I don't know. They're all way more durable than need to be.
Well, they start with the slapstick, and he just straight out decks them.
Yeah, he decks them, but they would just, bounce back. Because they're very durable, and if we were to actually analyze the actual strengths of the Stooges...
I think they've all had pianos dropped on.
Yeah, Curly's just impenetrable. There's, one part where, because they have, cartoon physics, even though they're real people, and if we actually were to... which seems like a podcast in its own right, is analyzing the actual strength of the Three Stooges. You'll find that they're gods, because I think
unstoppable forces of nature.
there's a scene that comes to mind, Mo just takes an actual saw to Curly's head, and then he takes it off, and the saw's just all bent out of shape and stuff, and Curly's like, that hurt.
Why'd you do that for?
Yeah, what'd you do that for? And so it starts, a fight with... So now Ray Spannon is in on it, but he's finding that the Stooges are much more durable than you'd believe. And somehow this ends up in the kitchen, which, even though this is an old-timey mansion, a kitchen that is fully stocked with banana cream pies. And this then starts a pie fight. And that's the true versus match. The Johnny Quest, Ray Spannon versus Three Stooges pie fight.
Three Stooges still have the number.
Yeah, they still have the number, but they don't have the brains.
That's true.
I'm sure Dr. Quest shows up and he's like, "Look, I just invented a pie machine." Or maybe that's how they get the pies. He's in the kitchen. He's like, "I invented a machine to make pies while you were trapped. I did this because I think the joke in Venture Brothers is that the dad is useless, and that carries over into the Harvey Birdman Johnny Quest episode, which is episode 1 of that.
I've been thinking about rewatching that lately.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It still holds up, but it gets funnier every time you watch it. But the Johnny Quest episode like explores that Dr. Quest is actually he's just like an absentee father and he's useless. So he does. So he's like, you all were trapped. I made a pie machine, and it just like constantly like brings out pies, and so now it's Team Quest with maybe Haji.
Yeah.
Depends on.
There's a little censor bar over him.
Yeah, it depends on who is writing this episode. And the Three Stooges are now having a pie fight, and only one lives.
Dan Snyder presents Three Stooges versus Johnny Quest.
Oh.
Everyone was barefoot that whole episode.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, it devolves into a pie fight, and that was quite a long scenario because I explained a little bit of Stooges lore.
I think it was worth it.
But I think it was worth it for this, and I feel like this is exactly how it would pan out.
I have to agree, scene for scene. Yeah.
I like your choreography with the here, give me a boost, lifts him up and slaps.
Yeah, just Johnny gets suckered into it.
Yeah, because why wouldn't he?
Yeah, of course. It's infectious.
And then, of course, if Race sees the Stooges strike Johnny, then he's going to have to step in.
Yeah. I mean, that's just one job.
It's his one thing is bodyguard. And baker. According to the Harvey Birdman episode. I made muffins. Hey, boys.
You hungry?
Yeah.
Got a little apron. Kiss the cook.
Exactly. Kiss the cook. So yeah, that was the very long-winded Johnny Quest versus the Three Stooges.
That one was a toughie.
It was very tough to bring them together in a way that would instigate an actual life or death fight.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is a life or death fight. It's just pies. But I think it would be funny if there's so many pies made by Dr. Quest pie machine.
It starts to like fill the room.
Yeah, like only one person actually makes it out, and I'm pretty sure it's Curly because Curly, as I discussed, is a god, and he probably just eats his way out.
He eats his way.
He probably eats his way out. It's like, Mo, what happened to you? Wake up! Wake up, Mo! It's time to go.
Mo?
And then somehow Shemp comes back.
And he just shows up.
Mo can't be with you anymore. No, it was his mansion the whole time.
Oh, it was his mansion
He staged his death, and it was actually Shemp's idea.
And you still didn't paint it.
Yeah, you still did. And this paint looks horrible.
I didn't order banana cream color.
Yeah, that's... You know what? That's it. That's why people don't like Shemp. Shemp would never engage in the violence.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, like he would never be the one to actually hit someone, so he was just there. He'd take the abuse, but he would do nothing.
Oh, okay.
Shemp is just lame.
Gotcha.
And I guess I've watched a bunch of Three Stooges stuff just growing up over the course, and I've noticed because a lot of them are in public domain, and a lot of the public domain ones are Shemp ones. Mm-hmm. When you watch the ones that's like the trio everyone likes, Mo, Larry, Curly,
yeah,
it's funny. It's still funny. You can always get an enjoyment out of it, but like when stuff happens to Curly, it's funny because he's like, yeah, why would you do that?
Over the top.
Yeah, it's like over the top and it's fun, but like it's like when something happens to Shemp, you're like, oh, come on, man, you could have gotten yourself out of that. Mm-hmm. You idiot.
You absolute buffoon.
You fool. And so I hope you all learned some Stooges lore.
Yeah, I learned something today.
I've never expressed anywhere the love for
your vast knowledge that you have.
Yeah, I've never got into this ever with anything ever.
We learned something new about you today, Joe.
Yep, I know I'm into some Stooge lore. Yeah, and it just gets more tragic as it goes on. We also learned some Johnny Quest stuff.
Yeah.
And I've completely forgotten our first scenario already.
I actually have as well. I was just trying to remember it.
Who was it?
Who was it indeed?
Who was our first scenario?
Yeah, I know we did one because I went first.
I know. What? I feel senile.
Well, the fact that it happened to us both is what's weird.
Yeah, who was the first person we had?
Yeah. What'd you put in my water, Joe?
Oh no, what'd you put in mine? The old switcheroo.
Yeah,
It's inconceivable.
I poisoned them both.
That's inconceivable.
Take it you haven't gotten Princess Bride character yet anywhere?
No, we haven't. We have not had any of the Princess Bride characters, actually. What the hell?
I know.
What was our first matchup? I'm not ending the episode until you remember who it was.
Oh, it was Esteban versus...
Oh, Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead, yeah.
Wow, what a lame episode. Lame episode, guys.
Sucks.
Spend more time with the Stooges.
That one would have been fun, too.
Oh my god, Beavis and Butthead versus the Stooges.
Yeah. The wheel giveth and the wheel taketh away.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Well, join us next time on Impossible versus Matches. This has been quite a journey on.
It's been something.
It's been 1 week.
Is that song just on your list somewhere? That song versus...
Yeah, 1 week by Bare Naked Ladies is one of my characters on my list. But yeah, I've been Joseph. This is my good friend Kyle.
I'm Kyle.
You can always you can find Kyle here on this show. I'm sure he'll be here for many more episodes to come.
Yes.
And you can also find him on the old Bearded Beer Bros channel.
That's right.
Where he showed up on Craig v. Kyle and What's in Craig's Kitchen.
And don't eat the Travis Scott burger. We're not sponsoring McDonald's. Don't eat it.
Not anymore. Not after what happened last time. Not after that incident with the Hamburglar and Mayor McCheese. We can't go back to prison.
Not down those roads. Not with those tires.
No. And also, there's of course always the video on my channel, Can v. Kyle, where Kyle goes against a can for a long time.
A long time.
Join us next time.
Yeah. See you there. See you later.